afternoon and welcome to Today on BayTV. I'm Liz Cairns and this is Rachel Hopkins.
We are joined today by Neath MP Christina Rees, the Shadow Secretary of State for Wales, and journalist Robert Llewellyn Jones. But first we have some music from Rebecca Hearn.
Driving home in the fast lane, keeping out of your way, tears running down my face, always the same. Tell myself it's the last time, we'll be changing my mind. You don't get to rewind all your mistakes. And your hands locked on tight, a strong tangled vine. I could not escape your pain. I'd scream and I'd shout, no words could come out. At least you made me feel that way. So stay this far away, watch me sail away, watch me sail away, and keep your hands at bay, keep your distant gaze. Did you think I'd stay? 'Cause your love was never safe in the waves, babe. Looking back over our time, you would always catch fire. You don't get to be my moth to the flame. Did you think it was okay, treat somebody this way? Sleeping with your outrage kept me awake. And it's hard to believe that I couldn't see I was playing with a loaded gun. So say what you want, believe it or not, the bravest thing I did was run. So say this far away, watch me sail away, watch me sail away, and keep your hands at bay, keep your distant gaze. Did you think I'd stay? 'Cause your love was never safe in the waves, babe. So stay this far away, watch me sail away, watch me sail away, and keep your hands at bay, keep your distant gaze. Did you think I'd stay? 'Cause your love was never safe in the waves, babe.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, and we look forward to hearing more from you later in the show.
Welcome both. So on this day,
Yes, shall we start and have a look? In 1861, the last instalment of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens was published, and the book had been serialised in Dickens Literary Circular all the year round. The novel, as we know, tells the story of young Pip, a poor orphan who comes to believe he will inherit a fortune. Dickens churned out major novels every year or two, and usually serialised in his own circular. Among his important works are, as we know, Oliver Twist, which was 1938, David Copperfield, 1850, and Great Expectations, 1861, and of course, A Tale of Two Cities, 1859. So I must ask, first of all, have any of you read his novels? Surely somebody must have.
I did when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
I loved Charles Dickens, and a lot of of them have been put onto film as well, so I think that makes them accessible for everybody. But they often tell a story about how poor people were back in those days. The workhouse features heavily in a lot of them. And of course, we think, oh, back then, you know, we've moved on so much. And yet these days, there's people going to food banks, we're running out of food. There's also reports about rubbish building up, which, you know, will increase vermin. So it's almost we move forward in so many ways, and yet at the moment we're also going back. So I find that interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think the last time that I thought we would see food banks or collecting food for people who were in strike was the miners' strike. And I remember that, you know, collecting for the miners who were on strike. But I didn't think we'd get to the situation we are now, where, you know, every town virtually in the UK has a food bank because people just can't make ends meet. And these are not people who are necessarily out of work. There are people who are in work who just
Why can't they? Why do you support? What's the reason for it?
I think that the wages haven't risen in accord with inflation, so things cost more these days, but people are being paid less. So even though they're in work, they don't have the income generated to actually buy food and clothes and pay the rent and the bills and everything.
And there's a stigmatism as well, isn't there? A bit of a stigma with going to these. It's sort of, people are quite desperate before they go. It's not something that people do readily.
No. We've got a number of food banks in my constituency, Robert, and one is in Ystalyfera called Catch, and they set up many years ago. A couple came back to live in Ystalyfera and they bought the old Gurnos Chapel, and they used the back of the chapel as a food bank, and it's just increased in use over the years. And Nina and Ian, who run it, now have outreach centres in Llewellyn and places there for a day, so that people don't have to even travel now down to Ystalyfera. Really, so they're doing really good work, you know.
And it's so
really
important to remember the heroes behind every bad situation, so that there's always that light at the end of the tunnel and sunshine on a rainy day.
Well, I don't like the comparison with Dickens, you see, on the food bank. I mean, Dickens was writing about people who didn't have the benefit of charity.
It was the poverty that I was likening.
I often wonder why we're such a prosperous... Well, we are a prosperous country, aren't we?
Well, if you look at the pay differentials, the number of millionaires, you know, seem to be increasing, and the people who are down at the bottom end, their wages seem to be stagnant. So I think that's the problem. Wages haven't increased, you know, with time. And some people are doing 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And this sort of fantasy self-employment that came in. I mean, I used to be a squash coach, and I was actually self-employed. And it's a way of the national governing bodies taking on more coaches without having to actually pay them, you know, a wage through the books, as it were. So you become self-employed, you pay your own tax. There's a lot of that going on, you know, as well. Times have changed so much.
I still think the best is the one made by David Lean, in the 1950s, the black and white. With John Mills and Valerie Hobson. I don't think this anything that transpired after that was as good as that, and that was, I thought, the most atmospheric of all Dickens productions of great expectations that I've seen.
Have you got a
John Mills, didn't he have a famous daughter? Was it Hayley Mills? That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Juliet as well. But that was he played the part of Pip in Great Expectations, and Valerie Hobson was Estella. It was very good, and if you ever have the chance to see it, the opening is absolutely tremendous, where Pip comes across the escaped convict on those marshes in Kent. Wonderful.
And nextly, very quickly, 1914, first seaworthy ship passes the Panama Canal. And also in 1926, traffic lights installed at Piccadilly Circus, London. We've actually run out of time now, But thank you both, Christina and Robert. Next up, we'll be taking a look at the papers. See you after the break.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel Hopkins. This is Liz Kend, and we are joined again by Christina Rees, the Shadow Secretary of State for Wales, and journalist Robert Llewellyn Jones for the papers.
So, shall we now delve straight into the papers? All the front pages have the same news, obviously, with the step down of Prince Philip. Daily Express, Prince Philip officially retires. Thank you, sir, but please carry on being a rascal, which he's quite known for. The Daily Telegraph, the Duke retires after 65 years of selfless service and more than 22,200 official engagements. Prince Philip is deserving of the nation's gratitude. Daily Mail, farewell, sir, they don't make 'em like you these days. Daily Mirror, Prince Philip, hats your lot, he retires after 65 years service. Metro, hats your lot, Duke finally retires at 96 after his 22nd 1,219th engagement. Jolly wet fellow, Philip raises his bowler to receive a royal salute as the heavens open. Now, he's well known for his bowler hat. His bowler hat.
It is called quite a few different names, but I don't think I've heard it a bowler hat.
No.
There's quite a history behind the bowler hat, isn't there?
There is, yeah.
1849?
Yes.
It was first brought into by Edward Coke.
Yeah, it was firstly worn as like a works hat, wasn't it?
By the worker.
And then,
I wouldn't have thought there would be much call for a bowler hat in a mining valley. Although years ago they were worn to funerals.
They were.
Yeah. And it was part of the dress for funerals in the days when people made an effort to try and look tidy. Even the poorest of people went to funerals in suits. They only had one suit, a white shirt and a black tie. I'm appalled when I see some people of my generation and older who go to funerals now and
I think some people, though, they ask for it, like Ellie Norkett, the young rugby player who died so tragically a few months ago.
Yeah.
She actually asked if we'd all go in our rugby kit. So we did, you know, we went in a rugby kit, so she actually asked for that.
well, that's a special request, isn't it? I can understand that. But
And I must say that I'm not really dressed up today, Robert, so I do apologise.
you're not going to a funeral today, I hope.
No, I've got my rugby kit on in support of our next guest.
special reason for that.
Special reason for that.
So it should be.
We'll find out about that later.
We're a very broad church here.
Oh, that rings a bell, that broad church phrase.
Yeah.
Bowler hats were used in many films. We've seen iconic ones like Goldfinger and Bond film. The evil henchman Oddjob threw an iconic razor-edged bowler as a weapon. Thompson and Thompson, identical twin detectives from Hurge, The Adventures of Tintin.
Yes.
Now that's taking me back a bit, that is Tintin, I must admit.
And of course, the great comedians Laurel and Hardy wore them as well in the 1930s. But for my generation, the icon, if that's a terrible word to use, but the icon was, of course, John Steed in The Avengers. Do you remember?
Yes.
With Diana Rigg. That was the epitome of wearing a bowler was John Steed.
Well, we have got a video. Oh, no.
Yes, I inherited one, shall we say, which I've got in my wardrobe and which I keep, but I never wear.
It's a shame you didn't have it today.
But, no, I don't think I'd go if I want to be seen in a bowler hat.
Oh, I don't know.
But they were very fashionable and still remain fashionable in London.
Yeah.
You know, perhaps not so much in Cardiff or the provinces, but still in the city of London, people still wear bowlers.
I think they do make people look a certain way, don't they? You know, as you say, perhaps up in London with the businessmen in their suit and their bowler hat, you immediately get a sense of purpose from them.
And moving on, Wales Online. Twin Town, it's its 20-year anniversary. And tonight in Singleton Park, there's going to be a large showing outdoors. And Kevin Allen, the film director, he's going to be there. And also Paul Durden, who also wrote it. Kevin Allen has said, during the screening, it is going to be emotional for him as he will see his mum again, because his mum was in the film, and obviously prior, since sadly she's passed away, which quite a few of the actors and actresses from there has passed away since.
Well, Hugh Carredick has passed on, hasn't
Yeah.
he? And, he was a great character, and a character actor as well, and
Yeah.
I think sadly missed.
Definitely.
Was Hugh Carredick Alan Fred Jones's brother?
Yes.
Ah, right.
And David
Llewellyn.
Yes.
Yes, I've got it, yeah.
Everybody knows everybody in Wales.
Yeah, Wales is one big
it's
family.
It's one of those places, definitely, and it's such an iconic film. Have either of you seen it? Have you seen it?
I've seen it, and when I lived up in England for some time, you know, I'd say to anybody, oh, I'm from Swansea, and the first thing they'd say to me, oh, Twin Towns, do you know where it was filmed? And I was like, yes.
I thought you were going to say the
Just a
famous
bit.
quote then. I was going to say, please
no.
don't, not live.
No.
But yeah, there's many quotes from it as well that people
Hot dogs for
instinctively will
tea,
say.
boys? I think we can say that.
I'm going to have to watch it now to find out what the quotes are.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Tonight as well, Kevin Allen is going to be putting out it within his speech about donating to the food banks, because last week, and I think the week before, they were in critical situation due to the lack of food. It's down to the school holidays, whereas the children normally have in their school free school meals at schools. Now the parents have had to go there. Luckily, thanks to Swansea people, it has gone back up. The shelves are refilled. They are refilling. But he is going to be doing a plea tonight, because obviously they don't want people to be complacent. So please, if anybody could donate, there are different places too, which is Morriston, it's in Morrison's, in Tesco's, down at the Liberty. And also there is a food bank. It's called, Donate, was the Donate sites online. It's swansea.foodbank.org.uk.
Yeah,
There's a Just Give as well, whereas you can donate the money and then they will go and actually go out and buy the food that's needed.
It's important what you donate as well, because some things are easier. I think you mentioned earlier, Christina, that to think about foods that can be used without gas and electricity.
Yes. Yeah, it's really important to think about foods that can be eaten sort of straight away, because some people haven't got the money to heat them, you know, or to run the microwave sometimes. So it's really ready-made food. And I was just thinking then that it's the actual demand that's gone up. And in Neath, I must mention that in the primary school in Llewellyn, they're running out-of-school activities, and included in that is a free meal, free breakfast. Sorry, free breakfast and free lunch.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, both. And after the break, Christina will be returning with a very special guest.
Let's see what it is after the break. Welcome back. I'm Rachel Hopkins and this is Liz Kens, and we're joined again by Christina Rees with her special guest. But first, more music from Rebecca Hearn.
Come on, baby, won't you come here? Won't you settle down? It's late at night, keep it quiet, don't you make a sound. With everybody in the room, it's hard to figure out why you looking at me. Is the silence too loud? 'Cause I know what you think. It could be a shame to live just as we are. So stay away before I find you in the depth of my doubt. Keep your eyes closed, keep your heart away from mine now. 'Cause I'm not cool enough for you, and I know you don't want me to stay away from you before we fall in deeper waters than before. And are you lonely? Are you happy? Are you on your own? Or are there ghosts from your past that turn your blood to stone? And I know I could change your black and white to fire gold. So why you looking at me? Why won't you let me know? If time is all we need, then time is not enough. Just as we are. So stay away before I find you in the depth of my doubt. Keep your eyelids closed, keep your heart away from mine now. 'Cause I'm not cool enough for you, and I know you don't want me to stay away from you before we fall in deeper waters than before. With full blue eyes at midnight, deep in silence. Or would you like to keep it quiet, to keep it secret? Our full blue eyes at midnight, deep in silence. Or would you like to keep it quiet, to keep it secret? If I stay, will you stay? So stay away before I find you in the depth of my doubt. Keep your eyelids closed, keep your heart away from mine now. 'Cause I'm not cool enough for you, and I know you don't want me to stay away from you before we fall in deeper waters than before.
Now we're back with Neath MP Christina Rees and her special guest, which is Welsh Women's World Cup Rugby Squad member Kelsey Jones.
Hiya.
Hiya. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
I must ask, first of all, when did you find out?
So I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. Really exciting news, yeah.
Oh, it's an amazing achievement. How long have you been training within just rugby itself?
So this is the end of my 3rd season now, so only about 3 years, so not long, yeah.
You're natural then to progress so quickly.
Yeah.
And Kelsey, she started playing, I think, your first match in 2014, wasn't it? But she's been captain of the under-18s in Seven Sisters, which is our club,
Right.
and the Ospreys,
Yeah, Ospreys under 18.
and the West Wales,
Yeah, and West Wales.
Wow.
and played for the colleges,
Yes.
yeah, and then into the full Wales squad.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
really
Because you're
exciting.
proud you are as well, Christina.
I'm overcome, so proud, yeah.
I don't know who's beaming the most, actually. We have got a video of yesterday down at the training ground.
Yeah.
Should we have a look?
Yeah.
Lovely. If you can explain what's going on here.
Well, that's me freezing and very wet. And that's Del, and he's one of the coaches. He's the father of Bethan Howell, who's the captain
Right.
of Seven Sisters Ladies, and she also was the first player from our club to play for Wales.
Oh, wow.
And she captained Wales as well, I think, Kelsey, did she?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, she used to got loads of caps for Wales.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And she's like there she is there with the hair up on top of the head.
Right.
And she's like our motivator, she's our hero, you know.
Yeah.
And what they're doing there now, it was absolutely tipping down, but they still got a full squad out training.
Good. Great.
But Kelsey wasn't allowed to train because we got to keep her now
Yeah.
That must be very frustrating.
And there's
to
Kelsey
watch.
there in the red hoodie.
Oh, arms crossing, and I want to be there.
Yeah.
Are you keeping up your fitness training though? Just
Yes, well, because there's so much training with the Welsh squad, we can't jeopardise like training elsewhere, also like if too much. So we speak to our S&C coach, and he advises us then on what we can and can't do. So because it's so close now to when we leave, I thought I would just have a session off. But yeah, watching them is so frustrating. I just want to join in with them.
Such a rigorous training, though, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Was it your intention all along were you very ambitious from the start?
Well, I always loved rugby. I've watched my father since I was little, but the thought of playing it myself never came to me. But yeah, so Seven Sisters is my local club, and I was up there with friends, and I heard about the women's team, and I thought, just give it a go. But I was too young at that point to actually play for the seniors. So I went training the following week. I don't think anyone thought I was going to turn up, but I turned up, and just went from there.
You're awfully glad you did turn up.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
We've got a good structure there as well. We've got a ladies' youth side, and last year we were on the under-15s girls' side for the first time.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And so we've got like a progression coming through now.
So how long has Seven Sisters been going?
Oh, that's a very good
10
question.
years.
10 years for the ladies,
Yeah.
but the actual club itself has been there. It's the same story in all valleys in Wales. The miners started playing rugby, and then they built the rugby clubs. You know, and that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Have you found more women now are joining with the rugby?
Yeah, a lot more participation numbers are going up so much. And I was speaking to someone earlier actually about people actually wanting to watch it as well. So for the World Cup, tickets sold out like straight away. So they had to open another batch of tickets to let more people come, but they just sold out straight away as well. So it's really interesting to see the numbers increasing.
Yeah,
Women's rugby has changed dramatically over the last few years. Why do you think that?
It's a very physical sport, and I think women have just got fitter and been able to cope with the physicality. And also, all women's sport has become more popular. Like, I'm a squash player, and when I used to play many years ago for Wales, there weren't many women playing, but now we've got a tremendous junior structure, and they start off like under fives, and they start playing all the way through. So at every level you can play squash, you know.
So when you found out, how did you react?
Oh, I just couldn't believe it. I was sort of stunned. I think I ran downstairs to tell my parents. I just couldn't believe it.
Oh,
They must be so proud.
Yes, so happy, especially my father.
Yeah.
He loves rugby himself, still plays now, and he's about 45, I think. So, yeah, he was ecstatic for me. He comes to watch all my games. I think he's only ever missed one in the 3 seasons that I've played. So,
But they're going to not be able to follow you, with you, are they? Or
they're coming out for the Hong Kong game, which is our third pool game, and then they're hoping to come out for the semis and the finals as well. So
very exciting for you all.
Yes, exciting.
And when are you going to start training with them?
So we've been training now all summer. I've got my last training session tonight now before we leave, and then we leave on Saturday, and then captain's run day before the game on Wednesday against New Zealand.
Not long to go at all then. Well, I must say from everybody from Bay, all the best.
Thank you
and I'm
so
sure
much.
you will be amazing. And we'd be
you.
loving being out and watching
Following
you,
you.
definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much both for joining us.
Thank you.
thank you both for joining us, and we shall see you all after the break.
Definitely.
Welcome back. I'm Rachel Hopkins. This is Liz Kens, and we are joined again by Rebecca Wedlake, our resident osteopath, and the Swansea Ramblers.
Well, firstly, Rebecca, tell us a bit more about pregnancy and osteopath. How do they link together?
What we're going to be chatting today is about paediatrics and pregnancy and how osteopathy can help both, really, because some people wonder, is it just about low back pain? But no, there are many things as an osteopath that we can treat. So it can be beneficial for people of all ages, and it's gentle, it's a non-invasive approach to treatment. So if you're pregnant, we'll offer you a really supportive role in helping you through a really natural time in your life. And if it's a paediatric, there's clinically and anecdotally, there's a lot of evidence to show that it's a very, there's high levels of patient satisfaction, both for baby and for the parents that bring the babies in treating these populations. So,
can it help? How does it help with the pain? Because obviously a lot of pregnant women, as Rachel, you know, I've definitely been through it. I'd ask you to as well. How does the pain affect you whilst pregnant?
Pregnancy is normal and it's very natural. You're going to go through ligament changes, postural changes, weight changes, and they can all put pressure on joints. So it's about really supporting you through the different techniques that we use in a really natural time to help facilitate a positive pregnancy experience for you. And then with babies, as an osteopath, it's more about looking at the actual symptoms as opposed to specific conditions. And then seeing if there's a musculoskeletal component to these symptoms and supporting baby that way. So it can be really effective.
What can be involved in an appointment for if you're pregnant? Or
Yeah, if you're pregnant or if you're a baby, obviously if it's a baby, you're going to come in with, they'll come in with a guardian or the mum and the dad. And so we'll have a sit down. So a normal appointment, you'll come in, you'll do a case history, talk about your health, any medications you're on, do a full examination. It's the same for a baby or the same for a pregnant woman. But what we'll do is with baby, we'll have a chat with the guardians or chat with mum and dad. See about their expectations. How was birth? What's baby's sleeping patterns like? What are the milestones like? So if you've got the little red birth book, that can be really handy for us to have a look at as well. With a pregnant lady, it's about having a chat and seeing, okay, what were your expectations? What was the birth like? Was this your first pregnancy? Because if you've had previous pregnancies, that can affect, ligament laxity and things in this pregnancy as well. So it's just about finding out what their expectations are for treatment and working to really facilitate a positive treatment experience.
And what are the different treatment options then?
Right, for baby, you want to do more minimally invasive, so very gentle, non-manipulative treatment. So maybe massage, baby stretches, cranial techniques, which are very safe, non-manipulative, and they're really effective in treating younger patients and babies. For mum, we're looking at treating, these changes, these really natural, normal changes that are happening. And it'll be things to do with, any kind of exercises, postural advice, massage, anything to help those different joint aches and pains, because these are all natural things, but the woman's body is built for these. So it's about empowering you and helping you to have a really positive experience. So, yeah.
And if there's any kind of health conditions in these patients, because obviously there's a lot of things when you're pregnant, there's certain things you can't take, there's certain things you can't even eat. So are there things that limit you as an osteopath?
Well, that's fab. Every week you come out with fab questions like this, because obviously when you're pregnant, you know yourself, there's a lot of medications we can't take because of the effects they might have on the growing fetus. So it's about looking at you individually and seeing, right, what can you take, what can't you take, or the techniques that are more suitable, or the things that are, going to be contraindicated for you. And it looks at your individual health as well, because you may have other health conditions going on, and we'll tie those all in together to make sure that your plan of treatment is really unique for you.
And it all sounds very positive experience.
Well, that's what we aim
as opposed to medical, really.
Well, that's what I mean. We are primary healthcare practitioners, so we do go through the 4 years of training, and we'll do postgraduate training as well. And it's all about just helping you understand that this is a really natural, normal time, and helping you through that.
So is this a niche part of osteopath? Do you need to learn outside of the norm then?
As an undergraduate, we're all taught paediatrics as part of our training. So we are qualified to work with people from the age of 0 to 100. You might get the occasional patient that's 101, you never know. But, a lot of osteopaths will do postgraduate studies because we have to maintain professional development every single year as part of our registration. So a lot of our practitioners will go on and do things like certificates or diplomas in paediatric osteopathy and other such things that I did so myself. I think there might be a picture of the qualification.
Yes, we have got a qualification. So. Congratulations on your
Well
qualification, by the way, as well.
Thank you very much.
And I must say quickly as well, congratulations. It's your first year anniversary today, isn't it?
William Osteopathy is 1 year old today.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Right, I must ask, I know the weather's been absolutely atrocious, but what have you been doing?
Well, I think we will start off talking about a walk we did, the Pen y Fan, the highest point in the Brecon Beacons in southern Britain, last Saturday. And the idea was one of the experienced leaders, Tim Grono, led a group of people. We had a coach hired, and people who wouldn't normally do that sort of walk, a circular walk, and they do easiest Saturday walks, and it was a trial really, and we had a good turnout, and I think we got some video to show that, but the weather was reasonably kind to us, Andrew, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The weather kept threatening, and with the weather on the mountains, the clouds can come down, you have zero visibility, but on the day it was absolutely wonderful and we could see for miles.
Let's have a look at the video. You can let us know what's going on here once it comes up.
Well, the first thing you'll see is us right at the top of Pen y Fan, giving a wave to the camera and enjoying.
And there we are. Oh, looks quite windy, deserved. Actually.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah. It's lovely. So
always windy.
That's the top of the Brecon Mountain Railway. That's the halt at
Torpantai. Yeah, that's where we started.
So that's where we stopped the coach, and then we have a word from our leader, who's just warning us, make sure we got clothing, etc. Because it's dangerous up on the mountains if you haven't got the right gear.
Right.
It's completely safe with professionals like Tim here.
Yeah.
But as long as you've got the wet-proof gear, because the rain can come down on the mountain, and it's degrees colder up there. Yeah. And if you ever drive along on a sunny day, and you look up at Pen y Fan, you can see it in cloud or maybe in rain. It's a totally different experience.
And we follow the track, which is called the Roman Road. I don't think it is a Roman road, but it's quite a fairly gradual track to get to a col, and then we sort of turn.
We are looking at Pen y Fan here.
Pen y Fan, yeah, this is on the way up.
Beautiful. It's quite steep going down there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Some of the terrain is quite hard to manoeuvre, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we've all got good footwear and taking sticks.
And how long is the whole walk?
I think that was about 7 to 8 miles in the end. It's a gradual walk up, and as you can see, we're heading right up now to the hills. To the right of that picture now it was Pen y Fan. Here, Tim is offering a tea break.
Oh, must have a tea break, that's perfect.
Yeah, so we're just going to go up, get a bit more height,
and
then we're going to go up the first of 3 mountains. The first one was Cribben, then came Pen y Fan, and the last one was Corn Ddu. And then we descended, but this is us still climbing up, with Torpantai behind us. And we went up to where you saw us waving on Pen y Fan.
Everybody looks like they're having so much fun. Everybody's smiling.
They're loving it. Yeah. Everybody had a fun day. Yeah. They thoroughly enjoy coming out walking with us.
And there's good food with you there as well, isn't there?
So there's Pen y Fan again, and to the right is the Cribben, and we're just walking up towards it.
There were 33 of us altogether, 31 on the coach, and 2 people met us there because they live nearer to it.
Oh, right, that's brilliant.
Now this is a horseshoe.
That is beautiful.
The ridge of the mountains, because Brecon is below us there in the valley, and there's several ways up to Pen y Fan. We just chose the one at Torpantai. Here we are coming up towards the foothills of, I think this is Pen y Fan. Yes, there we are.
Yeah.
So there we are waving again. Thoroughly pleased with ourselves. A lot of people had never been up a mountain, let alone Pen y Fan.
And that's a memorial to Tommy Jones, a little boy who died just over 1900, about 1900.
Yeah, about 5 years old. So Linda here is given a sing-song with Callan Lamb.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant, though. Absolutely amazing. You must say now, what other walks have you got planned?
Tonight, I'm leading 7 o'clock from Vendrod Lake, a short walk, 3 miles, through the woodland and around the lake. So do come, anyone can turn up if they want. I'm perfectly pleased to see them.
And walking's an amazing exercise. I mean, Rebecca, you must be recommend this all day long.
Density and general health, definitely.
And it's what the body can naturally do as well. So anybody can do it. It's not putting yourself under too much pressure.
Yeah, so do come along. Come along tonight, come along Saturday when we got a walk through 3 cliffs. longer walk on the Sunday, another short one on the Monday.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you both, and Rebecca as well. And it's a big thank you to all our guests today for joining us on the show.
Next on BayTV, we have our afternoon matinee movie. Today it's the 1954 comedy For Better, For Worse. And we will be starring Dirk Bogarde.
And on Monday, Spencer Feeney's film Review will be about War on the Planet.